Well guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have Bo, he's right there, his Evo at the shop today. He's running into a little issue, well not so little. His car feels like it's breaking up. He went ahead and got the injectors cleaned. The injectors were pretty clogged. He got those cleaned up, but after driving it since then, the car still has a weird breaking up issue. The best way he said, it feels like you're about to hit anti-lag. If you're just cruising at like 35 miles an hour, it feels like it's going into anti-lag. So it's driving very, very funny, and injectors, plugs are all good. Issue with his fuel pump. As you guys can see here, his fuses are melting. As you guys can see there, it is melting half of the fuse. And I was confused. We were just looking over all of the wiring to see what is going on. And right off the bat, you guys can see the ground here. It is grounded to the chassis. We did that a couple years back. Apparently that is not the proper way to do it. It's supposed to be grounded to your motor trans. We did that years ago. We've never had any weird like voltage issues, but we're told to start here and properly ground the negative to the trans. Just like my STI or most cars, it is grounded to where your starter is. So Bo went ahead and picked up some more wire. Here we go. We have some nice 4-gauge wire. This is 2-gauge wire, my apologies. And he picked up some connectors as well. 2 different sizes, just depends on where we're gonna go ahead and mount it. But before we start diving in and getting that fixed, we're gonna go ahead and drive around this car so I can show you guys what is happening. Now, with these fuses burning, I accidentally made the mistake of touching the wire and it burnt my hand. Though the wire is getting very, very hot. There's a few things we can check out, but we're gonna go ahead and drive this car just so I can show you guys what's happening. But to be safe, since the wires get very, very hot, we're gonna go ahead and grab a fire extinguisher just in case anything were to happen. This is one thing I wish I had in my car a couple months back when my VA-STI was on the dyno when it caught on fire. If you guys haven't seen that, go check out that video. My 17 STI caught on fire on the dyno. And I did not have a fire extinguisher in the car. So since then, I've been very, very cautious. I always have a fire extinguisher with me. Does not matter what car it is, they all get a fire extinguisher. Also, this is Bo's first time driving this car since the injectors have been cleaned. I drove the car from the shop here after he fixed the injectors. So Bo hasn't been behind the wheel. So he'll be able to tell if it's driving how it was before or if it's better. I was gonna say, no fucking way.
I was kind of doing like that, but it was way more aggressive. It was like, fucking do it.
Well, we got the Bo approval. He says it drives much, much better than it did before he got the injectors cleaned. What I think is happening right now, I tried to show you guys in the video. I don't know if it picked it up that well. It's like in second gear, it's like 2,500 RPM. It starts, I think it's a fuel trimming issue. When we got this car on the dyno, we quickly decided just to go for power. Normally you do a lot of drivability and then go for power. We were just trying to make a lot of power that night, so I think this needs to hop on the dyno again just to get the drivability adjusted a little bit. Plus, we did, when he destroyed his turbo, if you guys watched that video, we did upgrade the exhaust housing. He had a 0.86 before. He now has a 105 housing. So we need to get this thing back on the dyno, get the drivability adjusted, plus get the I'm not too good at this tuning stuff. Whatever needs to be adjusted for the bigger exhaust housing.
We just pulled the tune off the car with the SD card, and I put it in. And this is what we're looking at for the fuel tables. So this right here is actually what you don't want to see at all. You don't want that hump in there at all, especially in the red. Bad call, bad move. So that's what's going on. So I'm gonna hop in there, do a couple street hits, and clean her up.
For you guys that are just tuning in, this is your first time seeing this car. This is not my Evo. This is Bo's Evo. This thing has pretty much everything done that you can have. I'll have Bo kind of elaborate as this is his car and I don't know all the specifics.
It's a 2.4 4G64 with Wiseco pistons, Eagle crank, R&R, steel rods. It's got a 6-speed stock.
Yeah, this still does have a stock 6 speeds. If you guys are in the Evo world, 6 speeds are like the WRX 5 speeds. They are, but worse. Yeah, they're horrible trans. In the future, we want to go ahead and replace this with a 5 speed, but that costs a lot of money. So for now, the 6 speed is living.
It's still living. It's had a rough life, but it's there. So the car is an Evo 8, but it has Evo 9 motor, interior, ECU, everything. I did have an ACD transfer case, but now it has a non-ACD transfer case because I blew the other one. The head is ported, has GSC, R2 cams, and GSC everything else pretty much. Yeah.
Badass car. Now let's go ahead and remove all of the trim. We have the wire feeding through the firewall, under here, through the back seat. We're gonna get all of this pulled out now, the back seat pulled out, so we can properly run this wire to the engine bay. You just gotta fucking yank it, I think. As you guys can see, these are the 2 holes that were in the firewall. The left wire, that is the positive wire. We have another perfect spot to put the negative. We did not drill those holes. When we did the relocation, it was like that. So that makes me think that someone had a relocation in this car before. 2 perfectly cut holes for 2-gauge wire. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know what else someone would have routed through there, but it's a perfect hole for us to get the negative wire pulled in. I hear it, but I don't quite see it yet. Oh, I see it. Yeah. We found a spot that we're gonna go ahead and ground the battery to. I pulled out one of the transmission bolts. We're gonna go ahead and mount it right here. It'll be the most tucked look. We can run it under the charge pipe and goes into the firewall. We were originally going to solder this. That is what we did a couple years back with the positive wire, but apparently that's not the way to do it. You're not supposed to solder these wires. So we're gonna go ahead and crimp this and hopefully it does not fail on us. And there we go. We have the new negative wire ran all the way up into the engine bay. We already checked. We have power to the car, which is a good sign. And then Bo went ahead and replaced the 30 amp fuses as well. We're gonna button up this car, get all of the trim pieces put back in, get the backs. Actually, might leave it apart just in case something is wrong. Go ahead and drive this car with the new fuses. We can see if they're melting again. Hopefully, crossing our fingers that it fixed the issue. But if it didn't fix the issue, it's something that probably should have got fixed anyway. But crossing our fingers, it works. Well, it is now the next day. It ended up getting pretty late last night. We decided to finish up the work today. Right now, what we're gonna start with is we are gonna go ahead and pull out the fuel pump hanger, because what we thought our suspicion was to begin with is that these fuel pumps are going bad. Now, I reached out to a couple buddies who have had this issue happen to them before, pretty much the exact same thing, and everyone was telling me their fuel pumps were going out. This car has had these fuel pumps in here for quite some time, and this car has sat a majority of its life with a full tank of E, so it could have just taken out the fuel pumps from sitting for such a long period of time. Plus, there's a million other things that can go wrong. The pumps could just fail naturally. There's a lot of factors that can go in. But since I have two pumps here, we're gonna go ahead, pull that out, replace it. We're waiting on Bo right now because this is his car. He does want to be here for this process. But we're crossing our fingers that that fixes our issue. Relocating the battery's negative up into the engine bay on the trans. We knew that that wasn't gonna fix the issue, but after talking with a lot of people that I trust with electrical work, everyone says that you should mount it to your motor or trans. So we went ahead and did that anyway. It was not a super expensive thing to fix and very straightforward. Not much needed to disassemble this. A couple clips, take out the rear back seats, and then we are able to run that power wire, or not the power wire, the ground wire to the motor. If it's not the fuel pumps, then I am completely lost and I have no idea what to look at next. We went ahead and looked at all of the wiring as well, just to see if maybe any of the wires got cut open and exposed and were arcing, grounding out, anything like that. All of the wires are in perfect condition. But the biggest issue with the drivability we did fix with the injectors getting cleaned. That is a big thing. I try to tell everyone that is building a car, if it's gonna sit for a long period of time, if your injectors are sitting, especially with E, always get your injectors cleaned beforehand. That is a big thing. Your injectors will sometimes get stuck open, flood your motor. There's a lot of things that can happen. Always get your injectors cleaned. It's a very cheap option if your car is sitting for a long period of time. Follow me. Well, we got the fuel pump hanger out of here. And if you guys are familiar with Subarus, this design is a lot different than a Subaru one. I'm a huge fan. Normally, you have this weird, gross rubber that holds it, your fuel pump to where it comes out of. This looks like it's a nice couple, I don't even know what size bolts those are to be able to come off, but very accessible and easy to work with. It was kind of a pain getting it out of the car, but I like the overall design of this. So we're gonna go ahead and take this apart and get these fuel pumps switched. Well, here we go. We just got the new 450s put in. Old ones are gonna be going in the garbage. Hopefully this fixes our issue. We're pretty damn confident this will fix it. Go ahead and put it back in the tank, get all of the hoses and power wires connected, start up the car and drive it around and see if it fixes our issue. Just got the fuel pumps all wired back up. Bo is going to attempt to start this. It should start, but who knows? We might have had a misplaced wire. Are you seeing if it's leaking? All right, guys, we got the car runs, but now we're running into an issue where it runs horrible.
It runs worse than it did before.
I never experienced how it ran when Bo had it before he got the injectors fixed, but it is breaking up consistently right now. Everything seems to check out, so I went over to Devin, the Evo master, and this is something Bo and I completely overlooked, and that is the map sense.
We didn't overlook it.
We didn't overlook it. Just now we overlooked it.
Because we don't just have one laying around, but Devin does. We're gonna try it, see if it helps, and then give it back to him.
So what we're talking about is the map sensor. Right there, this Bo is running an Omni map sensor, which are absolute garbage and fail.
Hang on.
No, I'm not blaming you.
No, I know. I have an AEM one literally sitting at home with the conversion and everything, but you have to get it tuned again for it. So nobody wanted to swap it over on the dyno. So,
so that is what we think is the issue right now. 2 bolts and a clip. We're gonna go ahead and put Devin's brand new one on. Unfortunately, we can't keep this one. This is Bobby's, but he told us to use this to test it and see if that fixes our issue. I'm pretty confident it will fix it. I'm hoping at least. If it does, thank you, Devin. All right, guys, we've been here many hours just off camera trying to figure out what the hell is happening. We've replaced the IAT sensor, map sensor. We have the spark plugs out. We have tried absolutely everything. We regrounded the fuel pumps. We've changed everything that we could possibly think of. Everything we do makes it worse, which doesn't make much sense. This car is not running right at all, which is really disappointing because yesterday when I started this video with the injectors cleaned, it ran a lot better and there's just a small hiccup. The main thing that we were really trying to tackle was this overheating wire, and that is why we pulled out the fuel pumps to fix that. And ever since then, this has ran like shit. I don't know, that's kind of an understatement.
Well, it ran like shit and it wouldn't even idle anymore, but that could have just been from us starting it and revving it, trying to see if it was fixed and turning it back off or whatever. And then we changed the IAT sensor and it idles now, which is a good start, but it still fucking breaks up, which doesn't make any sense. And you can rev it just fine, like just hitting on it fast. But if you really slowly get into it, the car won't rev at all. It'll just sit there, and then once you get far enough in, it'll just start breaking up.
Yeah. So we're pretty bummed right now. We've tried everything we could possibly think of, doing research, stuff like that. I hate to end off a video without accomplishing and fixing something, but unfortunately, I think that is what has to happen here. I would love your guys' input if you guys have any recommendations, something to check, something to do. I am all ears. I want to get this thing fixed. Like I mentioned before, Bo wanted to be here because this is his car. We wanted to fix it together, but he is frustrated with this car, which I completely understand. I love making videos, so I told him, keep the car here, I'll fix it, you can go to work, do stuff like that. So without Bo being here, we'll take on this project and see if we can figure out what the hell is going on with this. We've, like I've mentioned, have tried everything we can possibly think of, all the sensors, the plugs are out, the plugs are fine. We can't figure out what this issue is. So if you guys have any recommendations, please make sure to let me know and I will try it.
Don't get them wrong. I'm gonna try to come here when I get off of work, but I do have to work.
What I meant was, we didn't work on this car until Bo is here. I now have permission to work on this car. If he's not here, but obviously if he's off work, he'll come and lend a hand and figure out what's going on. But that means during the day, I can figure out what's going on with this car and hopefully try to get this thing fixed.